Now we can see this tactic at work today in federal and state governments, with the satanic mass news media being the primary instigator, starting fights, saying one thing here and another thing here, just keeping filth and lies and slander all about us. Well, let us consider this from the article titled, "The Twisted Political Considerations That Will Extend Lockdowns and Deepen This Depression." It states, "For better or worse, COVID-19 has become the most important political issue of the 2020 election. And it is very unfortunate that this pandemic has erupted in an election year because for many of our politicians, finger pointing has become much more important than finding solutions. Whatever Trump does or says, the left, his opponents, instinctively has a negative reaction to it. In recent days, Trump has encouraged states all over the country to start reopening their economies. And anti-lockdown protests all over America have become very pro-Trump in nature. Meanwhile, those on the left have been loudly denouncing the anti-lockdown protests. They have been arguing that it would be dangerous to end the lockdowns too soon, and top Democrats on both coasts are telling us that the lockdowns in their states could last for several months, for several more months at least. Needless to say, there is a perverse incentive for those on the left to drag out these lockdowns for as long as possible, because the worse the economy does, the harder it is going to be for Trump to win in November. So whether they are doing it consciously or unconsciously, there seems to be a desire on the left to squeeze as much drama out of this pandemic as they possibly can and to blame Trump for everything that has gone wrong. Well, this is a superficial analysis on the purpose behind the political exploits that have tanked the U.S. economy. However, the confusion, conniving, and misrepresentation of the facts by the warring political factions have blinded them to the reality of the destruction of the livelihoods of those who elected them. Now, let us put on our thinking caps, because there's always transitional language being used to form a certain state of mind and a certain state of behavior. Now, we went from shelter in home to now lockdown, which from what I understand is a term they use in prison systems when a riot breaks out. So that shows you the language the mass media is using when it's referring to our state of condition regarding how the COVID-19 crisis is being handled. Why use lockdown? Are we prisoners? That language is just sickening. And again, the mass news media and even politicians use that language. Well, that shows you what the Synagogue of Satan and those who work for them think about us.